David Havlicek. It was a privilege and honour to have you here at the ICD today. Thank you once again for your very informative speech that preceded this interview. We've just got a 5-minute, maybe slightly longer interview now. And so I'll continue with the first question, which is, could you please summarise what is the economic context of income equality in the European Union currently, particularly if you could answer this with Greece in mind, because I think that's a relevant case at this point in time.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me here.
You're welcome.
Thanks. When we speak about economic context, we have to decide or analyze what is cause and what is consequence. When we analyze economic context, we can see that, for example, income inequality have positive as well as negative consequences. For example, positive is that it motivates people to study and find better jobs. And also income inequality, according to analysis, lower inflation. So there's another positive consequence. But there is also negative consequences. For example, that income inequality leads to more poverty, households have more debts, and therefore also number of crimes go up. So there is both side effects. Especially the Greece, as you mentioned, Greece belongs between countries with the highest income inequality in European Union and also at risk of poverty rate. So we can see that all countries with debt problems have also problems with this issue.
How would you include the elderly or those that can't go back to school and change or even get an education to change their jobs or find better jobs? How do you include that in the economic context?
You mean how to motivate them to?
Yes, like those that are getting pensions.
Yeah, so there is many ways. So you can, for example, use some tax deduction or special whole life education programs at universities, and so I think that that can also be a result of prolonging life in general.
Okay, so I think Aaron brought in a societal difference in terms of age of people. Also, how do you think cultural differences can influence the economic context, and do these factors impact upon economic freedom in a sense?
Yeah, for example, governments can lower income inequality through more taxation. But on the other hand, as you mentioned, economic freedom, more taxation means more or less space for economic freedom. And therefore, government have to decide which direction take, if through redistribution or through economic growth, and also countries with higher GDP has also lower income inequality.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next question. How do economic decisions from Europe's larger powers and economies, such as Germany, affect smaller nations, for example, such as the Czech Republic?
Yeah, if you mention in context of current current discussion in European Union, it's mainly a political question. But every decision, even from bigger state, even from smaller one, can influence others. For example, Greece have decided in past that they will spend so much money that they cannot afford it, and now it influences whole Europe. So small country can influence the bigger ones.
So on the back of that, do you think that, seeing what's happened with Greece and other nations such as Ireland, do you think it's important for the larger economies such as Germany, who perhaps handle theirs in a more productive and safer way, do you think it's up to them now to actually put their foot down and deliberately try and influence the smaller nations?
It's the question what the small country want in return. Sorry, and also it's question about what is benefits from both sides. That, for example, if Germany, for example, export their fiscal responsibility, it is question if it is voluntary from the other states or it is forced. So I think it's also a question about method.
Okay, thank you.
Going back to Greece, is when you spoke about taxation, how do you include that when the government's too corrupt? Like when they mismanage money or steal it? I mean, for them, taxation would be only a means of enriching themselves.
You mean in the example of Greece,
Yes.
that there is problem with tax collection?
Yes. No, in terms of the government mismanaging, not as so much as the tax collection. Because some people say that one of the reasons that people don't pay taxes is because the government is too corrupt. Why should they pay the government who's just going to mismanage and steal and build hotels?
Yeah, it's like a never-ending cycle.
Yes.
So it really it's long-term matter. You have to go step by step. It's not a quick win solution to this problem.
Okay. Moving on to the Czech Republic, how does the government support the joint efforts of Czech companies to expand internationally in cooperation with other countries, especially those small economies?
Yeah, Czech government have adopted it's about a year ago strategy of international competitiveness. It was prepared by National Economic Council, and it is a whole strategy how to upgrade state policy in also problem of export and promoting Czech companies, cooperation with other states from 2012 to 2020. So it's really, I think, more than 200 of measurements to handle with it.
Okay, thank you. What are the strengths of Czech companies in competing globally?
Czech companies have, for example, very skilled employees, so they can really make more value added to their products. But nowadays, many Czech, mainly exporters, are subcontractor, and that has to be changed. There has to be a movement up to more value-added products to export and also produce in Czech Republic.
Okay, thank you. What does the Czech government do to help national companies expand internationally?
For
As
example,
mentioned earlier.
yeah, but the Czech country has, for example, a specialized bank which make loans for exporters, for example, outside European Union, and also insure loans from commercial banks, which banks are afraid to make these loans, for example, to countries from former Soviet Union, and so state insure these loans, and banks aren't afraid anymore.
Thank you. Is there a policy of driving national interests through tax policies and other incentives to attract foreign investment in the Czech Republic?
Yeah, we have conditions for not only foreign investments, also domestic. That there is for a certain amount of investment tax holidays, and also building infrastructure for these investments.
Thank you.
All right, and the last question. Regarding the currency risk for national economy and local businesses, do you think that there is an issue of Czech Republic not having the euro, or do you think it's more of an advantage? Why or why not?
Yeah, there's a big discussion in Czech Republic about adopting euro. There is really a controversial theme, and nowadays the discussion was a little bit changed because conditions in eurozone was changed. There is shift from currency area to more fiscal redistribution. So there is not only question about adopting common currency, but also discussion about this stuff.
All right, thank you very much for your time, and it was really an honor and a pleasure. And if you could just join me in a round of applause for Mr. Havlicek.